G'day everyone and welcome to the premiere of East Closings. I'm Lachlan Madison. Now what East Closing for tonight is Rob McQueen's Wallabies. 2002 this, from 7 Sport, and here we go.
To come back from 1-0 down to win the next two tests against the odds, we copped a battering. I suppose we have a bit of self-doubt about ourselves and not only our coaching and playing ability, but to come back with the way that we did, with the hard work that we had to put in to achieve those results was fantastic, and to be the first Australian team to beat the Lions in the series and be part of the coaching staff was one of the highlights of my career.
Yes, what a series we witnessed between the Wallabies and the Lions in 2001. More than 3 million television viewers watched the deciding third test on the 7 network here in Australia. But Rod, things didn't go according to plan in the first test at the Gabba.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't as we'd planned. We knew we were going to be a little bit underdone, but we certainly weren't ready for the onslaught that hit us.
But towards the end of the game, particularly in the second half, you started to get a bit of that continuity that was missing early in the game.
We did find that once we started to get a few phases together, that we started to really make some inroads, and they struggled a little bit when that happened.
So Australia down by 29-8. Elton Flatley also coming on and starting to really get the outside backs moving nicely.
This part of the game was the area that we sort of really looked at afterwards. I mean, we knew that we hadn't played very well, obviously, but that part gave us a bit of hope about what was to be ahead.
Well, the Lions came out roaring in the second test at Colonial Stadium in Melbourne, again dominating the first half. Now, I just wonder, how concerned were you at half-time?
Yeah, interesting enough, we weren't too concerned because we actually felt that once we were getting a few phases together, we were really making inroads, and I think the penalty count was about 8-1 at that stage. So we figured if we didn't give away penalties, that things were looking pretty good, and that's basically the way it went. We talked about it again at half-time, that the opportunities would come, and luckily they did pretty early in the second half.
Yes, what an opportunity. Joe Roth's intercept. He had a lot of work to do here.
Yeah, no, he certainly did, and that's where he's really good. When he gets those opportunities, he's very, really fast.
The Australian scrum really put it on the Lions, particularly in the first half. George Smith really came into his own in this game.
Yeah, there's a lot of significant things. The scrum, no doubt, had a huge thing to do with it. We'd had Blades had come and helped us for the weeks leading up to it, and we saw a lot of that happen. And obviously, it was good to see Axel Foley sort of back in the frame, doing what he does best, and that's getting those set plays organised.
Well, it was vintage Joe Roth there, as we saw. It was all then down to Stadium Australia to decide the fate of the Tom Richards Cup. What was the key to this epic victory, a famous victory by Australia?
Well, the biggest thing was the discovery as we went through that we felt that they were vulnerable after 2 or 3 phases. If they didn't score after 2 or 3, they didn't have a lot of options. They'd either kick the ball or they'd make mistakes. From our point of view, alternatively, if we could get more than 3 or 4 phases going, we felt the team was really working well together. So I guess our main effort was to make sure that we got that continuity going, and we tried very hard to stop them slowing the ball down, which was what they'd been trying to do right through the series.
And a sensational test debut by Justin Harrison. Didn't he pull off some steals in this game?
Yeah, Googie had a great game, and he's going to be a great player. The future of Australia is in pretty good hands when you see youngsters like him.
So good in the air, an area that you placed great emphasis and a big improvement as the series progressed.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I mean, ball in the air now has become so important. Restarts, scrums and lineouts have always been important, but now those kickoffs have become extra important for us, and that was obviously just a great take by Justin there.
Well, the Lions probably would have scored from there if they'd got their driving ball going. It was the steal of the century, I suppose.
Yeah, it was. He's been doing that all year with the Brumbies, and he's a pretty special player, and as I say, someone who's got a great future.
And then again, incredible scenes at Stadium Australia.
Yeah, no, it was really good, very emotional again, and it was good to see, to be able to go out something like that. I mean, if you could sort of have an ideal scenario, that was it. I remember young Harrison, first day I was with the Brumbies, he came into the camp, so to sort of go out knowing he played his first test was also pretty special for me.
And Justin Harrison seemed to get into the forefront of every photograph and every TV shot that was taken.
Well, I'm sure the boys will remind him about that one. But no, he's out of the squad now, which I think is reasonable under the circumstances. But As I say, players like Smith, like Harrison, we're starting to see those young players come up. There's a good future for Australian rugby.
So, Rod, where to now for the Wallabies under Eddie Jones?
I really think that they can take another step up. I think they can play at another level. I think Eddie's already indicated that he feels that, and I don't see any reason why they can't. I think that they can definitely play better than what we have, and the depth is looking pretty good.
And where to now for Rod McQueen? Is it back to the mundane activity as chairman of Advantage Line?
Well, that's not too mundane. We've got some good things happening there, but I'm looking forward to getting back into business and, of course, spending more time with the family.
Still some involvement, though, in rugby?
Yes, I'll be consulting to the Australian Rugby Union, and so I've got an ongoing relationship there, which I'm really looking forward to.
And trophies aside, they're all here. What has been the most satisfying aspect of your reign as Wallaby coach?
That's a difficult one, Gordon. I think seeing the achievements that we work so hard to achieve together, seeing those come off, and obviously the friends that we've met over that period of time, and being able to share all that with my wife Liz.
Well, Rod, on behalf of everyone, enjoy your semi-retirement, and we thank you for your monumental contribution. I think Australian and world rugby has been blessed.
Thanks, Gordon, and thanks, Channel 7. It's been great.
And thank you for being on this special journey with 7 Sport, the spirit of rugby.
And that's it for my space cousins. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time. Good night, everyone.